the last topic of the chapter number 4, which is inflation and the deflation. Okay, you already have the idea that what does it mean in a simple way. Inflation is the general and sustained rise in the level of prices of the good and the services in an economy over a period of time. Increasing in the price of the good and services, like especially your basic needs, this considered as inflation. Okay, deflation, you can say opposite word of the inflation, you can say fall in the price of the goods and services. This is known as inflation and deflation. You have a better idea what does it mean, inflation, the deflation. Okay, now how we can measure the inflation and the deflation. If we talk about the inflation, as you have already better idea that increase in the prices of the goods and the services, this is inflation. Deflation on the other hand, how we basically fall in the price of the goods and services. Now how we can measure the inflation? First, the term we will use is consumer price index. Consumer price index simple mean CPI, and retail price index. Okay, this is the way that you count the different things of the CPI is just like a basket. Okay, if I ask you that, Shiraz, what is your basket, you will let me know. That's sir, my basic food. Okay, water, like my gym. Okay, and my cigarettes. All these things I consider it as my basic needs. This become your CPI. Okay, if I combine them all of your basket, let's say your per day expense is 1,000 rupees. Okay, now how we will consume, how we will measure the inflation. Your daily spending on your basic need was 1,000. Now today you are spending on these needs, let's say it's 1,200. So you can say the inflation rate is increased, or you can say the price of the goods and services has been increased. Yesterday I was spending 1,000, now I am spending 1,200. Okay, that's become CPI, consumer price index. Get my point? The other term you can use it is RPI, retail price index. Both have the same sense. Then a selection of goods and services normally purchased by typically family or the house is identified already. Same with the kitchen expense. The prices in the basket of the goods and services will then be monitored at a number of different retail outlets across the country. Okay, that consumer price index, we were talking about the individual perspective. Here we are talking about from the organization perspective. Let's take an example. If the rises by an average 25%, the new index is 125, multiply by 100, 125%. If the next year there is a further average increase 10%, the price index is 110, multiply by 125 is 137. Okay, the average inflation over the 2 years is thus 137 point minus 100 become 37.5%. Okay, I'll give you an assignment on that formula, then you will get that how you can count CPI. Now deflation measurement. Deflation is also measured through CPI. You were spending 1,000, at the moment you are spending, let's say, 900 rupees. What does it mean? That prices of the goods and services has been fall. Okay, so for example, a drop in the average price of the basket of the goods in the year 10%, and the deflation will be 100 minus 90% multiplied by 100 become 90%, mean 10% prices of the goods and services has been fall. Getting? Now what are the causes of the inflation? Okay, and then causes of the deflation. Causes of the inflation: demand pull inflation, where when people demand more. Like let's say inflation causes by increase in the aggregate demand is called demand pull inflation. Mean increase in the price due to aggregate demand exceeding aggregate supply. When demand goes high, when you compare it with supply, what does it mean? The first cause of the inflation, this is known as demand pull inflation. When demand increase the inflation. Getting? Then cost push inflation. When cost will be high as compared to demand, again it would be the reason of inflation. Okay, I am giving you 2 points about the inflation, causes of the inflation. The first, when demand will increase as compared to supply, inflation is increasing. Other one, when cost is increasing as compared to demand. Okay, so when demand were increasing as compared to supply, that was the demand pull inflation, and when costs were increasing and as compared to demand, this is known as cost pull inflation. So you have two basic terminologies: demand pull inflation and the cost pull inflation. Now what are the causes of the